Hi guys, we're the Smart Cities teams, and I would like to introduce ourselves. I'm Sanan, and this is our team. Say hi, guys. Well, now we gotta get through this. So now going back to Bob. Bob is the guy from whose perspective we're going to go through the journey of what the smart cities are. Now, this is our table of content. Take a moment to read it over and admire our color scheme. Now, going back to Bob, he recently saw this news about smart cities like the newly built Masdar city and the Line from Saudi Arabia, and he decided to do more research on it. He stumbles upon this book written in 2013, and he starts to read this masterpiece. After weeks of research, Bob envisions a future where everything in smart cities is easily managed through phone apps, making daily life efficient and user centric. After months of research, here he is presenting this work of art. So now, this book explores Anthony Townsend's views on shaping smart cities, and so we can really assess currently existing projects based on his criterias. In this book, he mainly envisions a tech-integrated urban future to address issues like the environment, the currently aging population, and congestion. In this, he prioritizes people over private interests of corporations. Well, going into that, these cities shouldn't really have technology in a center for innovation, but it should purposely aim at improving residents' quality of life as a vehicle for this innovation. With this, it can be done with the means of having more active involvement in the community where the smart solutions are being implemented. And we could have the attributes of being an open project for many developers to work simultaneously. And we should have a partnership of many of these stakeholders for ensuring civic tech rather than having only private entities decide for what should be these smart cities. Now, I would describe civic tech as a solution based integration that is intended for a specific problem rather than the optimization of technology to be better optimized in solving these solutions. Civic tech should be in the hands of local developers and citizens as much as corporations to ensure that the openness of the projects lead to people being in the center of smart cities. Now, going into the discussions part, the discussions that are currently about smart cities is always ongoing and evolving. But from our point of view, a smart city should definitely not be a billionaire's project like we see in the Middle East. It should aim for more civic duties where tech is only part of the equation and for local citizens to benefit from this innovation rather than seeing the profits of corporations rise. For this, we need to co create solutions for real needs and concerns by making it a public duty as much as a private duty in fixing urban issues. Where issues such as congestion, air pollution, and environmental issues shouldn't just be solutions that are being sourced to these corporations. And in a sense, technology is perfect for this purpose. We just don't consider it when we give it to corporations as a job, but it can easily collect data, user data, and get real time voices of citizen engagement. Now, going into the reasons of why I shouldn't be a game designer, this slide is very really revealing. And without talking too much about why I shouldn't be a game designer, can someone tell Bob what we concluded are the benefits of smart cities?
So, why should you care about smart cities? Well, here are three reasons why. The first is improved quality of life. Smart cities lead to better public services and transportation, reduced traffic congestion, and cleaner air. In addition, they offer greater and universal access to advanced services through apps and the web. For example, if you want to get to a place but you don't have access to a car, you can call an Uber. Or if you want to get food but you don't feel like going outside, you can order delivery. The second reason is sustainability. Efficient resource management will lead to reduced pollution and energy usage. And the final reason is the potential for economic growth and competitiveness. The integration of technology and data driven decision making will optimize productivity and attract investments, businesses, and job opportunities.
Okay, as we just mentioned, people, including Bob, benefit a lot in smart cities. And of course, this requires a lot of technical support, which includes Wi Fi and 5G, AI, which stands for artificial intelligence, IoT, Internet of Things, cybersecurity, and so on. Okay, let's first look at Wi Fi and 5G. Wi Fi is a wireless networking technology that allows devices such as computers, mobile devices, and other equipment, for example, like printers and video cameras, to interface with the internet. It allows these devices and many more to exchange information with one another, creating a network. And 5G is the latest generation of mobile network technology, succeeding 4G. It is designed to provide faster, more reliable, and low latency wireless connectivity over longer distances. The main difference between Wi Fi and 5G is the coverage range. Wi Fi is mainly designed for local area networking within relative small areas, such as homes, restaurants, and public places, and so on. However, 5G is designed for wide area cellular communication over larger geographic regions. For example, we can connect to Mac Wi Fi on campus, but when we are out of school, we are not able to connect to it. Free Wi Fi hotspots support ener- emergency alerts such as fire alarms and public information access. In addition, the low latency of 5G allows for remote healthcare applications such as telemedicine and remote patient monitoring. Okay, then let's look at AI. Artificial intelligence is a simulation of human intelligence processed by machines, especially computer systems. Specific applications of AI include expert systems, natural language processing, speech recognition, and machine vision. The important feature of AI, which is called machine learning, allows AI systems in smart cities to analyze a large amount of data from different resources, such as sensors and cameras, to make predictions and optimize city functions. For example, it can predict traffic patterns, energy consumption, and the need for waste collection.
So let's get you into the IoT or Internet of Things. It's a device that describes device with sensors, processing ability, software, and other technology that connect and exchange data with other devices, and system for the internet to other communication network. It encompasses electronic communication, computer science, and computer science engineering. The device only needs to be connected to a network, but it don't need to be connected to the public internet. And there are three components of IoT computing. Those are hardware, composed by the sensors, actuators, IP camera, CCTV, and embedded communication hardware. And then there is middleware, which is a on-demand storage and computing tool for data analytics with cloud and big data analytics. And then the last one is the presentation. It's a easy to understand visualization and interpretation tool that can be designed for different applications. IoT can be used in different aspects of our city life. For example, the implementation of smart waste management system. And in this system, IoT are installed in public waste bin, and those sensors can detect the level of waste in real time. When the bin reaches a certain capacity, the center send data to a central management system. Then the large part of our key technology is cybersecurity. Cybersecurity is the practice of protecting system, network, and program from digital attacks. Those cyber attacks are usually aimed at accessing, changing, or destroying sensitive information. Smart city rely heavily on IoT devices and sensors to collect and analyze data from various urban systems, such as transportation, waste management, energy, and public safety. The security of this device and the data they generate is paramount to protect the city's infrastructure and the privacy of its residents.
Now, we will be shifting Bob through the Smart Cities real life applications. We all know Barcelona as being one of the leading city of Spain over the centuries. But what most of us don't know, including Bob, that Barcelona was one of the first cities that tried to implement smart cities technologies as we think of it today. It all started about 12 years ago when it started experimenting with digital technologies. The town installed extensive sensor networks that provided government and private sectors with data on transport, energy usage, noise levels, irrigation, and so on and so forth. Its technology base is solid, with a noteworthy open data portal, a good air quality sensor network, and widespread public Wi Fi. Only cities like New York City, Seoul, and Singapore can outperform Barcelona's technological infrastructure. Building on the lessons learned from Barcelona's success, let's make Bob look at Singapore, a city at the forefront of smart urban living today. Singapore gained its independence in the late 60s, so it's a relatively new country that had to be built from scratch. Therefore, they had to put their heart and soul into building the country they wished and dreamed of. Singapore's transformation to smart city had been facilitated by constant investments in various fields, including transportation, healthcare, public safety, business development, and energy. And some of the high planning they had to go through was their transportation system. It's called Mass Rapid Transit, MRT, in which they had to pave the way to make the best possible way possible to commute for over 3 million people, including Bob, that use it every single day. The system is one of the most extensive in the world, with over 200 kilometers of track and 119 stations. All these detailed systems require very heavy data analysis and relating to the Internet of Things. The development goes on, but the most important thing was they invested in the public safety department, making Singapore known for its low crime rates. And technology has played a significant role in maintaining public safety in the city state. One of the most Singapore most widespread systems for public safety is closed circuit television, CCTV. But not all applications of smart cities were successful whatsoever. And one of the most failed applications was the Bronx in New York City. As mentioned before, smart cities, like everything else, have its own set of advantages and disadvantages. And in this case, is the Bronx in New York City. Being too smart may not be a good thing. So, in the 1970s, as technology found its way to various aspects of society, the city of New York was no exception whatsoever. City officials sought to harness the power of computing to optimize their operations, save budgets, and enhance services. They enlisted the assistance of the RAND Corporation, which is renowned defense contractor for its own expertise in modeling and analytics. However, the model's design was fatally flawed. It relied on arbitrary data sampling and failed to adapt the realities of the Bronx. And one of the worst examples that happened in the Bronx was it failed to cope with several fires simultaneously, which leads us to talk about the challenges that we might face in the smart cities challenges and limitations, and make people like Bob aware of them.
So, like a double-edged sword, every situation or choice grasps both benefits and drawbacks. Therefore, as we are creating smart cities, it should be noted that it causes the following issue. First of all, the large volume of data generated by LFT devices demanded powerful computing resources and storage capabilities, hence evaluating the need for data centers and the cloud computing infrastructure. Data security is also an important part because in smart city due to risk of cyber attacks and the data breaches, making it necessary to robust security measures. Moreover, continuous surveillance could also lead to privacy issues, and people like Bob might feel that they are always monitored by the government. And any action that they want to do, they would have to think about it trillion times before. So don't get in troubles unintentionally. Ethical concern addressing, such as a bias introduced by the computational algorithm, may lead to unfair outcomes. For example, unfair treatment of center groups, which is undesirable for equality and diversity in societies. As the book describes that the law of the jungle will be applied in the case, and the strong who have the power system of the smart city will defeat the weak, the people who can't afford living there. Job displacements and economy inequality, as we know, when we are integrating AI and the IoT in smart cities, will lead to job displacements, especially for those who are little technical skills in sectors such as transport, manufacturing, or logarithm. This may further increase inequality of income and lead to a large number of workers not being fully supported. Strategies to its negative impact should be developed in view of the possible impact on workers.
Whoa, what is happening to the slide? Mike, what have you done? Why did you code this? Anyways, okay. So now let's talk about for smart cities. There are some major corporations that were mentioned in the book. Major corporations like Cisco and IBM that have exerted a significant influence in the building of our current smart cities that were seen in Barcelona. In the case of Barcelona, the city collaborated with Cisco in its initiative to build a new smart city and is smart city solutions. With this collaboration, there has been an exemplification of the top-down approach that companies take in building these smart city initiatives, but this can pose a big challenge as many of the local residents expressed concerns that they weren't adapting to these high tech solutions and that there were many issues with understanding what these solutions were exactly. So, with many of these smart city projects being outsourced to these corporations, they often all prioritize their interests over the needs of the cities, as shown in the case of the Barcelona city case. Well, in this in response to this situation, residents like Bob in Barcelona and in many parts of the world should start to advocate for a transition from being passive consumers to active producers of smart city systems, where there should be a transition from a more global point to a more local point where we have more citizen engagement with this. This would allow for a shift in empowering individuals to tailor the technological advancements to their preferences, which would transform it into a technology being an enabler as a vehicle towards fulfilling these smart city solutions rather than being a controlling tool of these corporations. Well, looking forward, then, the central question of building smart cities and building them around safeguarding the interests of individuals like Bob, our guy, in smart cities. Well, we should ensure that technology genuinely serves these needs and isn't given to become the tool of this corporate giants that just want to optimize things and make profit out of it.
So here's what the planners of future smart cities should do. As FabLab Barcelona says, smart cities should be produced by smart citizens. If you don't know, FabLab is a center for production, investigation, and education, which creates prototypes for architecture, construction, and industrial design. This means that it's important to take into consideration how people want things to work. Another approach planners should take into consideration is the adaptability of their systems so that they don't have to work to make the smart city from ground zero. They can just make adjustments to the cities that currently exist and the ones that will exist in the future. But as we know, as humans, our development never ends, and the concept of a smart city never ends as well. So as we move on, the concept of a smart city evolves to include more and more ways for the cities to be innovative. Now, the world's most sustainable city. That's what Masdar City was created to be. Masdar, which means source in Arabic, symbolizes the city's commitment to being a source of inspiration and a model for future sustainable cities. It represents the project's vision to create a city that relies on renewable energy sources, sustainable practices, and advanced technologies to ensure a prosperous and environmentally responsible future. This way, people like Bob can feel as safe as possible in his smart city. Now, to sum up, here are three things that you should take away: the definition of smart cities, how does ComSci intersect with smart cities, and how do we relate to smart cities, and everything that we should consider while we make smart cities. Thank you for listening to our presentation. And now we will be taking your questions.